So let's talk again about XYZ. So we have X, Z, and Y. It's like they're standing for 3 dimensions in a 3D perspective, 3D space, you know. So it's also can be visualized this way, right? So we have 3 axes, like showing these 3 dimensions, 3 directions. And what is also important, it's to remember relationship between axis and the surface. So as we have these 3 axes, like Z stands for depth, X stands for width, and Y for height, then we have surface which will be perpendicular to its axis. So it's like, say, the surface will be perpendicular to the axis, right? So have like the axis like this. Maybe more convenient to show it as a kind of wheel on the axle, right? So let's say it's like the axis as the axle of a wheel. So in this wheel is like this surface. So then we see like how box or cube is a 3D form which consists from surfaces and axes, right? So we have these lines, edges, and planes. So box or cube made from this like 2 Y surfaces and this 4 Y-axis lines. So they're like perpendicular, right? And in same time also box or cube made from 2 Z planes, Z surfaces, and 4 lines which align with the Z-axis. And again, relationship surface and line, it's 90 degree here, right? So it's Z. And for X, like if X axis going this way, X plane, X surface will be perpendicular like this. Again, can show it's like 90 degree X. So in the previous tutorials about curve in perspective, I was talking about basically only 2 dimensions. So we were using 2 planes, 2 surfaces to draw these curves. So one was like, say like mirroring curve from one X plane to another X plane, say like this, right? Then we did 3D curve when we were using a curve from X plane, let's say this one, right? So it's curve from X plane and curve from Y plane. So kind of this, which we mirror from one side to left side. So we have like a three-dimensional curve based on two planes. So kind of like drawing trajectory from y-axis, right? So using this, and trajectory from x-axis, like this. And intersection gave us this position of a point in the 3D space, which we use for drawing 3D curve, right? Like this. Let's show it here. So, but even this 3D curve, we have only two planes activated, right? Because you see, if here it's only an X plane, here X and Y, X plus Y. So, and today we'll talk about the Z-plane. So now we will use draw curves on both three planes. So let's take, so and what will happen, like how it works if we put them all together. So what we will have. So let's take here we have our two Y planes, one X plane here. Let's draw curve, say like this, right? And let's draw curve on a Y plane. This. So, and we project this curve to other side. So now we have these two curves, and if we draw these trajectories again, so we will have these points which we can use to make a 3D curve, and now we can use them to establish the planes. So instead of make curve from it, we establish the planes. So we have one plane here, one plane here. Because also, like I was talking in a previous tutorial about 3D curve, every point is kind of creating section, right? So we have this on the edge, we have this point for 3D curve. But now we use this cross section. Now we use this section as a Z-plane. On which we make curve. So now we will have like curves on every plane. So now let's say curve go here. And I can play around, you know, is here I basically define a form. So within this space, right, I can do like variety of curvature. So it can go like more closer to corner, or more, it can be more like almost like a straight line, for example, right? So we have this like, you can make it even like double curve, which I will show later, or not even a curve, right? We can do right now whatever like a side crosscut you want, but just for this tutorial we talk only about curves for exercise, because at first you need to practice with this, and later these principles, this structure, is core for every three-dimensional drawing when you want to be like very, very structural and precise. So now we have one curve on the x-plane, one curve on the y-plane, which mirror it on the other side, right? And one curve on the z-plane. So now as we mirrored this curve on y-plane, we also might need to mirror each z curve from z-plane to other side, right? So then we do just like rising this to find this points, like when we were drawing 3D curve, right? So you kind of making this z-planes. Then let's take other color. Kind of we connect these corners, we find how curve intersect with this diagonal line. So, and then we project it to other side. So here I did mistake. It's like this. Okay. So on the other side, I make this corner, I draw diagonal, and this point I make x-axis line, right? So it's line which parallel to x-axis, like here, because x-plane this way, so x-axis perpendicular. So here isometry, so they're like basically they're just parallel to each other. If it's some conversion, then I need to consider conversion, right? If like my perspective grid have like conversion like this, so I will need to consider it. Like again, it's like basics in every my previous tutorial. So then when I make from this point, draw this line following x-axis, and we see how it's intersect with the diagonal line, right? So we get this point of intersection diagonal with this x-axis. So now we have 3 points from here, and we have this point. So like in a Scott Robertson book, to draw curve, you need 3 points, right? So you can connect. So have these 3 points, so you can project it. And same do with every other plane. So just make sure somewhere it's this one. Oop. This one here. So make it red. So this is how Scott Robertson showing it in his book, like how to draw. So it's good for exercise to practice this sequence to make sure kind of your and this here. Let's make just random curve. to make sure like you develop this like proper measurement for your eyeballing process, let's say, right? Because then when you draw your freehand illustrations, you can be more fluent and you can more rely on just intuition. But just kind of practice sometimes with more precise, more careful measurement help you to develop this precision for your intuitive drawing kind of, right? So in one hand kind of you can say it's like it might be overkill if you're not engineer, you don't need like super technical drawing, but actually you need some practice of this, and it's individual, like for who it will, like how much you need of such practice. Так. So anyway, now so you see we have this the cross cut, the like section perpendicular cut of a form. So this like main principle which allow you to draw like basically everything in 3D. So then let's just make some experiments. Yeah, yeah, so let's show how we can draw it in a different type of perspective, right? So this is what Scott Robertson actually don't show in his book. I can show it here. So we will do it in a 2-point perspective and 3-point perspective, in 5-point, and some crazy fisheye perspective too. So let's take, for example, so horizon line. Here we have like Z vanishing point, X vanishing point, Z axis goes this way, X axis goes this way. So I don't use ruler, so some lines, they're not perfect, and it's not big deal. It's kind of like I say, you learn how to work with these tiny imperfections. So we have Zx, and in the 2-point perspective, y-axis is just parallel vertical lines. So they're like parallel to page sides, kind of, or your picture sides. So here we have XYZ. So now we need to find, let's draw. This will be like our Y plane. Try to find center. So we divide it in the left and right. Now this here it's a Z plane, because you see this plane is perpendicular to Z axis. Okay. Now it's here. So let's draw some. curve. So z axis perpendicular to the axis, z plane, perpendicular to y axis, y plane. Let's drop some curve on the y plane. Let's say like this, and transfer it to other side. Transfer curve to the other side. Yeah. Transfer curve. On this point out here. Okay, so kind of close enough. So, and now we will make like a finding point for 3D curve. We draw in like this alliance here from like z and y in this case. So now I establish this x plane perpendicular to x-axis. Same, this point going to z, vanishing point, from this going to y. So we have x plane on the other side here. So where we can do here, for example, so drop y, then we have this point, and drop it to z vanishing point, and then we have this point, drop y-axis, we have this point here, and now we have this x plane. So same here, here, and drop y. Now it's this y intersect with curve. And on the other side, same here, we have this, here, here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We can make like curve here, but in this case we don't need curve because there will be no sharp edge. It will be like soft edge, no? Because we draw curves, and I establish a form of this object by defining curve, right? So let's say if I make double curve like this, then we have like transition from one curve to like from protrusion to henceforth, like when like bulking out to gap kind of, right? So I have this gap here, and again curve go here, and we have curve here. Hello Yinkwo, thank you for feedback. So now like when you establish, you take like one side to establish curvature, and then it's like your problem is like how to transfer it, mirror to other side, which you use same kind of principles like we've been doing in the previous tutorials. And here I just diagonal. So just like how I say, keep in mind that when you work freehand, you will have this like minor mistakes no matter what system you use. because your hand like will wobble. You can make like butterfly effect. Like you miss point a little bit here and then line going like totally other way. So it's something which you just should keep in mind, and it's just impossible to make it perfect, and you will constantly like little adjust in the process. And instead of pursue perfection, like when everything like super technically precise, like a robot drawing kind of, instead of pursuing this, you better practice sequence. You practice repeat principles again and again, and with more mileage, you will be like more precise, just because you have like better grasp over it, right? This kind of think about it's not just being easy for yourself, right? No, it's very, very important point which somebody needs to tell you, or you need to tell yourself, whatever. It's like you need to properly distribute your efforts, right? Your efforts and focus. So perfection in this thing about like making exactly perfect measurements, this is not what you need. You don't need it. Important is to make sure you understand principles, you follow principles and sequence properly, and precision and accuracy will you will be better with precision and accuracy, and you will be better with managing errors, because this is equally important, being precise and also be realistic, to know how to work with like a human factor when you always do little errors every time. Like no matter what master artist you will find, they all have errors, like count like hundreds, drawing, it's like crazy amount of errors. And like how beginner react. So he make like 2 mistakes and he give up already. He cannot finish his drawing. It's like, oh, here's some mistakes. Professional, he doing like hundreds of mistakes. He see all these errors. Like we always see mistakes we do, and there is more mistakes which you cannot see. But when you see all these 100 errors, it's kind of like discouraging. It's like, oh no, like everybody sees these mistakes. More you work, more you realize, it's no way to avoid mistakes. So you need to manage how to like kind of organize your work so all mistakes will be where is not a big deal. It will be like secondary, tertiary kind of like most important places you make correct, you make accurate, but all this unnecessary can be filled with errors and nobody care. It's not important at all. This kind of magic and professionalism. Broch Zizi ask, you should learn perspective, like 100%. No doubt. If like depends what your goal is. Like if you're for a hobby, if you're just drawing after work for fun, then do whatever you want. But if you want to be like professional artist, you must know perspective. Like all I can draw here on my channel, right? It's essential perspective. It might be like look for you like some kind of extreme skills. It's not. It's like it's a kind of basic perspective. That's it. So the problem is just you might be in some environment where there's no much professional artist, not professional environment. So for you it might seem like compare this to some your local guys who make drawing a couple pictures in their whole life, it might look like, oh my god, so difficult, so extreme level. But in a professional environment, it's just essentials, so don't I don't know how to say, like, learn to look from proper lens, right, from proper perspective. So if you go into professionals, okay, start to look at this from professional artist, like top level perspective, right? So and here we have this plan and a double curve, right? So we need to find like how to transfer it to other side. So, and this kind of can be like in the previous tutorials I was talking about projecting, right? Same we can do, we can try make this diagonal and see where will be point. It will give us only 1 point, so it's kind of not enough. Also, this my surface, little wacky, is not super correct, kind of. So what I recommend to do, or what I will do for myself, I just find on this curve how many points I want. Let's say this, right? Like 1, 2, 3. I draw this z-axis through this point. So, and then I can just like look for a ratio. So like from central axis, from the central line, like here and here, like what ratio we have, right? So here I will just transfer kind of this ratio to other side. From here to here to here, what ratio? It's like almost in the center. So kind of this. Dropping this axis just help you to see a ratio, so you can transfer one side ratio to another side ratio. So when you see somebody like show you, oh, you need to do this much of work, is like a lot, right? It looks like, oh my god, really? You tell me I need to learn all this perspective? I'm sorry, but this kind of how real world works, it takes years to learn something decent. It takes like dozen of years to get decent skill. You cannot be decent artist without put years into this. That's it. This is how it works. It's no like, you cannot buy like super pencil and become professional artist. You cannot pay for some super, oh, it's a super workshop, and like in 2 months I will know how to draw and stuff. No, it's require years, like 10 years plus, kind of, let's say, right? So just look realistically at this. And this proper mindset should be, is like when problem is not like how much work you should do, how much effort you should put into something to get to decent level, right? Problem should be is like when you don't know what you should do, because you're sitting here and there's this artist. How they became this good? You have no idea. This is a problem. But when there is artists and teachers showing you how you can get there, they show you way, right? Like a gym or something, like, okay, you go to gym, you do this. And after this amount of time, when you master these moves, you will be there. This is how you became professional. Now, you don't have problem. Now all you have is to figure out for yourself how much is it important for you. Like, you want to be someone in this life, kind of, And if you want to be this person, like this kind of professional, let's say, and then if you decide this what you want to do, put your life in it. That's it. Your life. If your life not there, you just not decide yet. This is how it should be. So you don't think about like, oh, how much more hours it will take to develop these skills. It take whole your life. If you're not ready for this, then it's not for you. Just some people, they don't have anything they can put their life to. So then for me, they're just like NPC, right? It means they cannot make decisions. They cannot drive themselves. You cannot choose direction for yourself. You can't drive yourself towards direction you choose. Then you are NPC. Somebody will put goals for you and they will drive you to get to their goals. You will be just like me. Show me where to go, like, you know. So just kind of basic stuff. So here, right, I transfer these points using principle from Scott Robertson, but I using this principle eyeballing kind of it. So, and now let's recreate this curve on other side. Okay, so now we can draw kind of silhouette here, because now we have this complex transition. Let's make one more cross section. Так. So it's just kind of a problem you see with education. All education now rigged to be business, and it's business or propaganda machine. It's like two kind of option. And also it's both. It's business and propaganda, right? So, and for teachers to teach, it became like some kind of like, you need to be really motivated and like meaning oriented, let's say, right? Like, so you say like, yeah, this who is a teacher, he should teach. He's not here for make money. He's not here for career or whatever, right? So, and there is not so much people who able kind of to be like this, you know. They not even don't want to bother kind of with this stuff. That's why you don't hear much about this important kind of motivational speech, let's say, right? Which is like, teachers, I believe, they should tell this stuff. I don't know, in a kindergarten or in a middle school somewhere. Someone, or parents, right? If you are lucky, your parents will tell you this. Say this, how anything can be achieved by making decision and put your time into make your decision be like realize. That's it. Так. But most of teachers, they will just do their job, you know. It's like, we need to move from point E to point B. I just want to make it look like my I work my payment, you know. because I've been working in some art studio, and I saw it myself when like management, they push you for money, right? They say like, oh, you need to make impression, you need to make people pay more and come again, put more money and keep paying. This tell us teachers it's like our job to do this stuff, and it's kind of ridiculous. So like I don't care, you know. So I was just always speak my mind. Так. And because I was kind of rare teacher in this studio, I've been forgiven for this. You know, like renegade. Так. Yes, so So let's take. Okay, let me finish this first. Let's jump in too often. Let's finish this. So I put two more, right? So now we can. So these are central line, and here. Yeah, let me finish this, and I will answer question from Forgio. Так, so here we have this shape go like this. So, don't know what's done. Go like this. And the central line. Okay, kind of this form. And a 2-point. So we have X, Y, and Z curves. Together they create this like curved form. Yeah, so Virgil. Let's get about how to draw a book. So this Scott Robertson, he say it all actually, right? So he say, if you see like further chapters intimidating, it's like, oh, so difficult, so many stuff, it's a sign that you need to go back and draw more on the previous stage. And you know, this is a case when you need take it as it is not just the words. This is exactly what you should do. Like it's not so many text in this book, and actually like every word he say, it's like carved in a stone, you know. Like if you're like professional artist, you will read this book like 10 times, from left to right, from up to down, from diagonal, whatever, you know. So read again, make sure you understand what he say, and do exactly as he tell you. So all this stuff is very essential, and it's kind of something which anyway, as professional artists, you should be able to draw. And then like you can ask yourself like, hey, it's not allow me to draw like this some kind of intuitive perspective drawing, because he show it more as like for designers, right? Yeah, and then you will need to make this effort how to convert this knowledge, this experience, into a more intuitive drawing process. And this is what I'm doing in my videos. I kind of like I show and use this transition kind of think about like how we can take this technical approach from Scott Robertson and make it more like intuitive approach, which applied to like most of illustrators and comic book artists. When you will you will use this principle from Scott Robertson anyway. They're all here anyway, they are here. But you need to see where you can be like more loose, which things you can be just relax or even skip certain steps. And maybe Scott Robertson also tell about this here, so I will actually read it again. This kind of how it works, you know, like when I was studying with Naked Art College, and like my teacher was like professional artist, right? Like I have many different teachers, like one teach composition, other teach sculpture, other teach you painting, another teach you drawing. All of them professional artists, and they telling you same stuff again and again, again and again. And if you being this like student who actually listen what they say and you're trying to do what they say, you start to change, and you notice how actually your understanding of their words change. Not only like understanding, you also start to hear, I don't know, it's like before it was like more fuzz, but now you start to better hear, right? It's like experience and knowledge from experience clear your ears, and you better understand what people telling you. And then like my teachers, they keep telling same stuff they've been telling like year, 2 years ago. But now I finally understand what they're talking about. That's how it works, you know. So, and the problem is that instead of try to do what they tell you, what you already understand, instead of try to do this, you go and scatter around. You go here, you go there, you go here, you go there, and like looking for answers. But the actual answer is just like you need to more focus and respect for kind of for a masters, right? So don't read it like lazy eye, right? Read like and try to understand every word he telling you, because all this in the beginning chapters should be like piece of cake for you. You should like wake up like in the midnight, you take paper and you can draw all this stuff very easy. You understand exactly what all this stuff. You can draw all the stuff, and like you've been drawing like all the stuff like 100 times. And without, again, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not just telling you, like this, like YouTubers who's like, no, I just telling you exactly what I did. Like you see this, or so oh, so many drawings. It's just like 2 pages from couple hundred of similar pages you will draw yourself in order to get fluent with this stuff and be really make sure it's really clear for you, right? Everything of this you draw it many times, make sure it's all clear as a day. And then like when you go to this stuff, it will be much easier when you really establish these principles. And again, videos on my channel, they can help you kind of battle with this beginner resistance when it feels like too dry to read a book. So I kind of like disrespect this laziness, but in the same time I understand it, and it's a reason why people go into YouTube, right? They want to find some advice or some push. And I think like my videos will help you to understand it, and then you open the book of Scott Robertson again and you say like, okay, now I really understand. Because we need, also like a kind of human conversation. It's not just like pictures and text, right? Yeah, thank you. I mean, you can do 2 pages per week, but maybe it will be very slow. Train yourself to draw more, and if you want to be professional artist, this it's too slow. 2 pages a week to understand Scott Robertson. This book, it's something like you already should to know, right? Like maybe if you are like 5-year-old, you have this time to draw like 2 pages a week. But if you're not 5-year-old, you then don't have much time. Kind of like it take years, right? So you want to short these years as much as you can. So it's entirely up to you. This is what I say. If you want to be professional, it's not just like how many hours should I draw. It's all your life. Put your life in it, and then it's like individual, subjective, like what it's mean for you, right? So if you will be too crazy, you will kind of run out too fast, kind of, so it will be like unreasonable. Like you draw like every day without eat and sleep, okay, you will not live long with that approach, right? So you need to be more steady, more like a marathon, and make it as healthy as possible, but also with realizing that if you study essentials too slow, it will take like too much time to get to decent level. This is what you need. You want decent level. It's like a start. It's like a ground. It's not about like, I learn perspective and I will be master. No, you will be decent artist. That's it. That's all. To be like a super unique artist, it's require a lot of things. It's not just knowing essentials. It's essentials plus something more, right? Yeah. Watch my video how to improve. It's kind of, I have video called how to improve. You need to watch it. But in general, like, you cannot see progress in the process. That's kind of how it works. In the process, you don't see any progress. It's like watching sunrise, right? You're looking at sun and it's look like it doesn't move. But if you like blink and you will see it's kind of been moved little, like, or you turn like for 1 minute out and you turn back, oh, it's moved. So, and it's like, wait a second, like, when you look directly at it, when you be in the process, you don't notice at all. But it's getting darker and darker, and the sun is lower and lower. This kind of like visual, or like, I don't know, like a limitation of our perception. Our mind is not perfect. We're not perceive everything 100%. It's a lot of stuff kind of getting over your mind, over your perception. And improvement, it's this kind of stuff. You will notice improvement with a big lag, like 1 month or half year. That's how it works. And if you like slowly work, like too little work, like 2 hours every day, yeah, you will see like very little improvement in 2 months. If you put more work, you will see some more like essential improvement in a month or 2 or half year. And some people, they don't see any improvement at all because they're being too safe and too slow and to put too little contribution. It's like, what do you expect? Like, how fast will you become billionaire if you will put $1 every year in your account? How fast? It's just kind of like, it should be simple and obvious like this, right? If your like strategy how to become like billionaire is to put $1 every year in the bank and expect some miracle will happen, and you wake up like somebody, like on your account appear like $1 trillion. Okay, so there is like possibility this kind of physically it's possible, right? Whatever happened, but it's like 99.999%, it will never happen. Same with drawing, like how you expect something just appear in your skill box if you doesn't put it here. Так. Так. Так, let's take this blue. And again, like I made this YouTube channel because I just want to say straight what is what. because I've been teaching already too much of this kind of hobby nonsense. When people like came to your class and they want to feel themselves like an artist. It's like, oh, you paint with oil painting, I'm like a Van Gogh, or like they believe if they're like make a picture in a week, they show up once in a week, and somehow they became better artists with this. And it's so I'm just like get tired of this. So I interested only in serious people. And like serious people with real goals and who really decide to be artists, not just like watch someone picture and say like, oh, I also want to draw. Or you watch some movie where it's artists like drink champagne, go into parties, make an exhibition, and you say like, oh yeah, I want to be artist too. Oh, it's kind of it's a profanity. It's profanity. It's not. It's nothing to do with artists. Так. And I kind of like aware is a very small demographic of people who can be serious, and that's why my channel not so popular, because I'm not trying to monetize on nonsense. So here we're making this. So in this case, you see this third plane, it's z plane because it's perpendicular to the axis. So we have one plane, two planes, three plane. Yeah, four plane. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. Let's do this curve here. Transfer it. Over here. This one here. Так. This. This. here. Yeah, good. So, again, like I said, just say what I think should be said or must be said. And like when you or somebody like describing me their like current like level or progress, like how should I know from a text? Like I can't say anything about your particular case because I don't see your work. I don't know anything about you, like how long time you draw, what is your goal, kind of. Here's some weird. Okay, so like this. But being like kind of like AI, when I see certain keywords, right? Like when you write me something, I say, okay, he says this, so I should tell you this stuff. That's it. This kind of what you need to hear. And I don't know if you hear this stuff before or you hear it first time, but somebody definitely must tell you this stuff. And I make sure you hear it. It's kind of interesting. Bent. Because I am kind of like, obsessed with education. I just kind of like this stuff. Learn and teach and kind of explore all undercurrents, like how education works is very interesting. It's kind of human nature about how we learn and stuff, how we share what we learn. It's something very interesting. So here's you can join my Discord if you became member of channel. You can join my Discord and send show your work in Discord. Так. Сейчас. It's like membership cost very low. It's like very cheap, but it's like minimum gesture. So I will see you have some, at least some respect to my time, you know. Because actually, like mentorship is like much more expensive than membership on YouTube. It's incomparable. Так, okay. So this. So now let's do 3-point perspective. Так. Let's see. And y vanishing point. So here y-axis go like this. x-axis go like this. Oh, nice. Welcome. Welcome to my world. Okay, so here's this 3-point perspective. We have perspective grid with 3 vanishing points for conversion of 3 axes. Right. So now we can draw this z and x and y planes. Так. Let's see. So this is going to y here. It's going to y here. Так, let's make curve. Let's do like this. So it's our z plane, curve on a z plane. And so my curve on the y plane, kind of this. now we can draw X planes. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Burger. Have a good sleep. So like this one plane. This here. So this plane. So let's do here. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe we can do one more here. Hello, this dissonant. Cool. Yeah, thank you for feedback. So here. So you see all the stuff, it's kind of homework everybody should do when they read Scott Robertson book. It's kind of thing here when we need to put some imagination and motivation into self-education, right? So you say, okay, here we have these basic principles. You make some drawings from a book directly, and then it became boring, right? Now it's your responsibilities, kind of. It will show how much dedication you have. So when you see like, oh, these exercises from a book, they became too boring for me. It's like I repeat same stuff. Okay, now try to make some new interesting angle, kind of draw Scott Robertson stuff in a 3-point perspective, for example, right? Because it will be the same principles and just little more challenging situation, right? So let's see. Here we have. And what outcome, like what you actually learn from this, is not just about being able to draw these things. You know, it's not so simple. Your actual outcome benefit from this practice is that you develop your three-dimensional kind of thinking. You became this like a 3D Max in your head. So now like everything you take, you start to like automatically break it down into 3 planes. Like where is the curves? Like here we have mirroring curve. Then here we have this like bulk is like cross section you can use to draw this bulk. So everything now you can break down into Scott Robertson 3 section, kind of using this approach. Okay, so we have this X planes. Now we can make curves in these X planes. Let's do like this. here, whoop, here, choo, choo, whoop, whoop. Так, and now these curves we transfer to other side, so we can use this diagonal. Let's see. Так. So here it's just line like this. It's kind of a very weird shape. So y vanishing point. So now I have again 3-point perspective, but camera look up. So it's like upshot. Так. So it's curve on z-plane. So these are z-plane. Then here it's our y-plane. Just kind of random curve. So now for these points we build X planes. So sharpen. So one here, one here. So like this. Here is just flat. Так. Here. Оп. Okay, so now we make curve on X plane. Так, Here is no curve because it's flat. You see this Z-plane have zero height here. Then here and here. Can make one more plane here. Here. So let's do 5-point perspective. So here are the vanishing point. Y-axis going like this. So vanishing points outside the gnosis and X axis. So we also can start from drawing it as a box. For example, say and then we'll draw this kind of center plane, which is X plane. So have this X plane in the center and these two Y planes. Так. So let's see. It's just like this. Curve. Then like this. So in a curved perspective, like 5-point or fisheye, you start to see why kind of it's not so important to use a ruler, because here you cannot use a ruler. You might use some like flexible analog of ruler, but still it will be like too technical. Так. Instead, you better just practice draw freehand. Так. So let's say here curvature like this. Here like this. Now we can transfer. make one more here. Here my y-axis a little back. Так, save. Так, not drawn here. Let's do like fisheye with a curved horizon line. Curved. Yeah. I hope nobody from Poland listens this. Curved line. Curved horizon. So here is the vanishing point on the axis. We'll go like this. The axis like this. Then y axis. And x axis. Let's see where we want to put it. Take this x plane. Here we put curve a line like this, and on a y plane let's make a curve line like this. Transfer this line from y plane like a mirroring it. Here I can do like diagonal. Here. Maybe let's make one more here. Okay. The symbols look too abstract. Let's do this one. Z. Y. And X. Так. Так, оце. Where's the razor? Okay, so for today I'll finish with this. Drawing some cross sections in perspective or curves in 3 planes in the 3 dimensions. So